Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. I had to empty out some storage out of my phone because I did the video and it broke up and it says I ran out of storage. It's gotta love iPhone. So I had to do this. Hopefully it's okay. Try to do this as fast as I can. Differences between the IBCCES, I found out a lot more information. I was on last night doing some research, doing some more YouTube videos, looking at people. I like to get information from strangers, people that I've never seen before in my life, as part as like an outside opinions, and I like to watch their videos to see what they went through and go through in order to obtain these little certain passes. Differences again between the DAS Pass and the Universal Pass, which is DAS Pass is Disability Access Service. And let me tell you something. I guess Disney people just, again, they put the rose-colored glasses on and they get to see things from a different, whole other perspective. I even think this is fun for them because everything in the world of Disney seems to be wonderful. However, there is problems to obtain one of these passes, and one of the problems is that, you guys must like virtual queues and waiting. In order to do this, you go on the website, and they suggest that you don't use the app, that you go on an actual computer. That may be a problem for some because everybody else deals with phones and apps. Well, they don't want you to go on the app. You can do it for a certain amount of time, but then they're going to tell you to sign out of the app and sign into a computer-based so that you can get the whole thing for the website, because they need to talk to you when you do finally get to someone that is breathing and has a pulse. You get to use your camera and your microphone on your computer. So they also ask you that before time. Do you have a working microphone and a camera? Okay. So what it is that you go online and you're going to see the little chat box, which is the virtual queue. And the virtual chat box is going to ask you a few questions, your name, I guess address of something like that. And they're going to also ask you, is this your first time applying for the DAS Pass, or are you a returning member of the DAS Pass? So they'll ask you those little questions. Then they're going to tell you after that process, you didn't do nothing yet. They're going to tell you after that process, you will now be in a queue line. So due to high call volume, which is Disney's favorite line anywhere, even on the phone when I call them, due to high call volume, we are experiencing a more than usual wait time. So that could be from 2 hours up to 7 or 8 hours, because they only do this during a certain amount of hours a day, and they will cut you off. That has actually happened also on someone else's YouTube video, because either the time ran out or they just could not do it. They could not fulfill because they have a abundance of people who are applying for this pass. Okay. Now with the DAS Pass, you are allowed up to 2 rides per day. I don't even need to say like skip the line. It's not really a skip the line. It's just it's a privilege. Okay, it's a privilege. It's a chance to bypass everybody to get on the lightning lane. Now, this is other people were using the lightning lane. Some other people were using the regular line. So I'm a little confused on that. So I mean, if it's the lightning lane, I totally understand, because you are getting in faster than everybody else on the line. Okay, so with that. Okay, they ask you, they do, however, ask you. Now, when you get to the virtual line and you actually have a person that you're sitting in front of, number one, again, you have to be, if you're under the age of 18, you need a guardian or parent with you at the time, sitting with you during the process. You yourself, if you are going through it, the person themselves that are applying for the pass need to be present during, because they want to see you and talk to you, okay? You will be asked one little detail of a question that I caught on to is what brings you here today? Why are you applying for the pass? They do ask you this. So you can't say, well, I just want to skip the line and go on a few rides. You can't say that. You have to, just tell, like I'm by high anxiety. I've been diagnosed with this. I've been diagnosed. Oh, okay. again, they're not asking you for any documentation, which to me is totally ridiculous. Anybody could say anything. Okay? You don't have to provide anything, which is like ridiculous. Why even have the pass then? Okay? Okay, I'm going to now swing over to Universal. And I spoke to a lovely lady that was, she has a YouTube video, a YouTube channel that she also gave the breakdown and explained everything about the IBCCES pass. She went through the whole process and everything, but I did have a question, so I kind of hopped on. I subscribed to her channel, and I did hop on, and I asked her, can you please let me know and explain what kind of documentation are they requesting in order for you to register? So she wrote me back, beautiful, and this is what it was wrote. This email, blah, blah, blah. You will, hang on, where was I now? Did I screw this up? Did I screw this up? No, I didn't. Hold 1 second. I need to get my notes. Okay. The documents. Documents, educational, healthcare, or agency indicating any special accommodations or supports needed for you. Okay. These letters would probably, the subject would include letters for a child, for instance, which would be an IEP. Now, I don't have a child, and I don't know of any other disabled children, so maybe if you do, can you please explain what an IEP is? Because I don't know, but you would need that kind of a letter for a child. Or, this would be me, a statement from a healthcare provider or doctor. That would be me. I got no problems with this. Or documents pertaining to government or military. So if you're in the military, maybe you're suffering from PTSD, I'm sure like when you leave the Army, the service, they provide you with that documentation that you have in fact been diagnosed with that, or you've been diagnosed on the outside after leaving the service. That's fine. I see no problems. They're just asking you what kind of an illness that you have. Okay, they're just asking you this, and if you can provide the documentation, it is their rules. Certain companies, they don't have to. They have their own set of rules. You don't want to abide by it, then don't apply for it. But Disney, however, now the virtual queue wait time for Disney, going back to DASPass, is ridiculous. There is a woman on YouTube that actually had 7 days to try. On the 7th day, she finally gets in. It took maybe about 25, in between 25 to 40 minutes. First she said 25, then she said about 40 minutes. And then everything was okay. But it took the process of waiting time to do this. And then, she had to pick her kids up from school one day and she couldn't do it. She had to keep breaking it because, there are things it's time consuming. It is time consuming, as anything is in Disney. This is what I mean. But like I said, you guys like to wait for things. You guys like virtual queues while waiting for Disney merchandise on Shop Disney. Then I guess this shouldn't be a problem to you. Just enjoy waiting, because there are people out there that have other things to do. You go to Universal, you will then fill out the application if you have the letters. Me, I would have the letter before time. I'm not stupid. I wouldn't have to say, oh, wait, I need a letter. Common sense tells you to have your documentation before you even do this. That's just that simple. So I go with in saying that. That's what also I found out about these things. So the little more I go, the little more information I find out. So I just wanted to let you know that. I don't mean to keep talking about it, but I give you my intake on it. I'm still with Universal on this. I think they got, it's by right. It's by right. And if they contact, if they went with this company, that's fine. This is what this company wants. If they pick them and that this is their rules, and if Universal is okay with it, then there's no problem. The documentation is to me, it's pretty simple. I'm sorry. They're not asking you to give blood. They're not asking you for a kidney. They're not asking you to prove to me that you had surgery. Let's have a video of the operating room. They're not asking you for any of that. They're just asking you for a letter about, explaining your illness. That's all. They don't know who they're giving the passes to. And obviously, to me, Disney don't seem to care, even though you're talking to a cast member. It's just beyond me. It really is. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I feel in my heart that that people still abuse the system. They're just doing this to get on rides. Now, Disney, you get to pick 2 rides per day. Now, let's put it this way. If, in fact, you have anxiety, by the way, certain rides you ain't getting on. The pass is not valid for those rides. Tron, Rise of the Resistance, anything with the Star Wars thing, certain rides like that, you're not going to get on. It's not on the list. They will provide the list for you. And then from there, with the cast member, you will be able to pick your rides per those days. Okay? And that's what I mean about having you on a leash again. So, Universal, I don't know their system on how they do it. I'm sure there are some rides that are excluded. And I'm saying like maybe all the roller coasters, because they do have a lot of roller coaster rides. They have a lot of heavy attraction rides, If you have anxiety, you shouldn't be going on them, period. Okay? So don't even give me that. See, there's the excuse that I don't like. Oh, I have anxiety. Meanwhile, you're on Tron. Whee! I mean, it's you know what? It's not going to happen. If you have anxiety because you don't want to stand on line, but yet once you get on the line, once you get on the ride, you're okay with it? Nah, not happening. So, if you're getting on the ride, that's your problem. Meanwhile, you got the pass in your pocket. So you see what I'm saying with this? You get where I'm going with this? I may not be able to explain it so much because my mind gets like jumbled because I want to say everything in one shot. I know what I want to say, but sometimes it gets a little mixed up. But you guys know where I'm coming from, I think. And it is totally ridiculous. Okay? So just because you have the pass does not mean you're going to get on everything. So they will sit with you and work with you and pick with you. It's like picking fast pass. It's like picking lightning lanes. That's what you're doing. So are you doing this, getting this pass just to ride those lightning lanes? Oh, I can't stand on line too long. Listen, you stand on line for popcorn, you stand on line for things, you stand on line for certain things. Why not certain rides you just don't want to stand on? Something doesn't seem right with this. But that's Disney's situation. All right. And that's what I'm going to say. People are still abusing the situation. People are still abusing it. So anyway, I thank you so much. I have been reading my my New York Post newspaper. My husband gets it for me. This was the mob scene the other day, Friday, for the person that is on Twitch. I didn't even know Twitch was still around, folks. I really didn't. I mean, I got a Twitter, and the news said YouTube, but this was the scene. It caused quite a stir. The person got arrested, but yet was released. I don't know what charges he's going to be on. So this was the mob scene. This is a 2-pager. So I read all about it. And he was a famous person. He's got quite a few million subscribers and followers on his Twitch. So that beats that. I was thinking of that, joking around. This is like, wow, that outbeats any Disney vlogger. Let's put it that way. That's what I just throw Disney into the mix on everything. But he was giving away about 300 PlayStations. Come down and meet me. This is the meeting. Now, my New York City cops, which is very surprising, claim that they knew about the event happening, but they just did not realize the turnout that was going to happen. I mean, you didn't realize the turnout for PlayStations? Are you kidding me? You didn't realize that? Caused a scene, caused numerous damage, and the worst of all, it was on a Friday, to where traffic is the worst in my New York City. Property damage up the roof. I mean, property damage. The outdoor restaurants, the cars, people's cars were getting stepped on and trampled over. The streets are ruined. People were scared that were said the outside cafes. They were trekking through there. They ruined everybody's outside cafes. I mean, it's property damage, dudes. So who do you think, who's going to pay for this? Hello? I think he should pay for it. I'm sure he ain't got it, but you know what? You got over 20 million subscribers. So maybe they can start a GoFundMe page. Maybe they can all chip in. Because half of them were probably in New York City down here anyway. That's the way it looks like. It looks like all your subscribers showed up. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for all your interactions. I'm enjoying the conversations, really. I thank you so much for putting your inputs in and your feelings and what you feel about the situations. Absolutely. This is how you get things done. This is how you talk about things. It's wonderful. Thank you so much. Love to all. Have a great, great Sunday. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.